Hello and welcome to episode number 16 of Your Money Life Coach on eRadio with me, Barbara Mundell. This is your weekly Wednesday inspiration to act and manage your money better. Now today we are talking the 5 things that you should know about your medical aid. I bet you there's some of these things you didn't know, and for some of the things that you might know, you might not have understood the reason behind it. So I'm hoping to provide you with some clarity today. Medical aid is a big expense in all of our budgets every month, but if we live in South Africa like we do, it's kind of a non-negotiable. So let's first start off with, did you know that your medical aid is owned by you? Yes, you heard correctly. You own your medical aid. The members of a medical aid owns the fund of the medical aid, and it is administrated on behalf of the members by a third party that is usually appointed by the trustees of that fund. Now, the trustees are elected by the members. So in essence, your medical aid is managed by the members. The members have got the choice to appoint the administrator on an annual basis via voting for your trustees. That's why it's very important that when you get that letter from your medical aid saying that trustee nominations or trustee voting is open, you take part in it. Number 2, your medical aid is regulated by the Medical Schemes Act and the government department ensuring that the medical schemes administrators comply is known as the Council for Medical Schemes. Now, the Council for Medical Schemes makes sure on an annual basis that the increases and the plan changes and everything that your medical aid wants to change to your plan is approved. It's also your ombudsman for your medical aid complaints. So when you've exhausted the complaints process within your medical aid, you can then approach the Council for Medical Schemes for assistance to get your query resolved. Now, their website is www.medicalschemes.com. It might be worthwhile for you to go and visit. There's all sorts of information and some great things to know about what your medical aid can and can't do. The third thing is your medical aid has various options. Now, we've also always wondered, most of us, but why is there various options and network options and other options? So they do this to allow access to everyone to get access to medical schemes based on their needs. Now, some of the funds have got network options. I think most of the medical aids in South Africa has got network options, and those tend to be a little bit cheaper. The reason for this is the medical aid can use their buying power with the relevant medical suppliers in South Africa to say that, listen, if we start sending our patients your way, will you promise to take care of them properly and do it for us at a better rate? So this is how they manage that cost-effective structure for you to make use of a network provider. Not all of us like network providers. Some of us feel that network providers are too far from us or unprofessional. It's consideration to consider your cost. The next way in which the medical aids manage the premium or the monthly contribution that you pay, remember, it's not a premium, it's a contribution. You're contributing towards the fund, is co-payments. So they make sure that certain procedures that cost a lot, and that's not always really necessary, have a co-payment link to it. Now, the financial services industry is very innovative, so they've come up with a product called gap cover. Gap cover allows us to add a smaller premium, manage some of our medical expenses. This helps us to keep it down, but I want to emphasize that gap cover is not a medical aid, and it cannot be your holy grail of keeping track of your medical aid expenses. The gap cover also has certain rules, and there is certain limitations based on your medical aid. So make sure you get professional advice before you're selecting gap cover. The fourth point is you are allowed to change your option once every year. This is usually done towards November, December every year, and your medical aid will send you a notice, usually in September, October, and you'll have to respond by November or December of that year to say which plan you want to change to for the next year. In certain instances, some medical aids, it all depends on the medical aid's certain rules, you will be allowed to upgrade or downgrade your medical aid within the year, but generally upgrades and downgrades are done once a year. Now, the medical aid also has another tool in the box, and this is point number 5, of how they can manage some of the cost and allow the rest of the members of the medical aid fund to be protected. And when it's done to you, you feel kind of like, oh, they are so harsh and so unfair. But I want you to understand it's done to protect all of the members they have in the fund, and they need to act fairly towards all of the members in the fund. And that's called waiting period and late joiner penalty fees. Now, in short, waiting periods is a tool that they use to avoid anti-selection. Now, what is anti-selection? Anti-selection is where you say, well, medical aid A offers the best maternity and dental benefits, etc., etc. Medical aid B only offers hospital and day-to-day cover with limited things. So now I'm getting pregnant, now I just want to switch medical aids to that medical aid that has excellent benefits, and then when I've done and I've had my baby, then I will move on to the cheaper medical aid again. That is called anti-selection. So waiting periods is built in to avoid those anti-selections because it's high cost for the medical aid, and it's not always a manageable cost for the medical aid if members join and leave and use their benefits and don't necessarily pay for what they've used. The last point is late joiner penalties. So again, it's there to protect the members of the medical aid. If you have a whole lot of old people on the medical aid and no young people on the medical aid, you will be in a situation where the medical aid can't keep up paying the claims, and then they will inevitably have to close down. So, late joiner penalties is there for the people to avoid only joining when they are ill and elderly and then wants to make use of medical aid. Thus, the sooner you join a medical aid, if you join or have had medical aid for more than 35 years of your life, you should not have a late joiner penalty fee. But that's a rough estimation. Get professional advice. That's it for me today. I hope you found this valuable. Remember, it is available on the eRadio website as a podcast. You can reach out to me on my Facebook page, Your Money Life Coach, or you can visit our website, www.yourmoneylifecoach.co.za. Have a fantastic week.